One of the biggest and most anticipated questions coming into this summer is, what's happening with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Is the Greek Freak finally making the move out of Milwaukee, and if so, where would he fit in the best? So I decided to look at the most realistic destinations. Real teams with real assets that could actually make this happen. Now, from Milwaukee's side, losing Giannis is a nightmare scenario. There's no real way to replace a player like that, but if a trade goes down, they're not going to give him away for free. They'll be looking for a return that jumpstarts a new era. And let's be real, most of the trade packages floating around online don't come close to what a Giannis deal should really look like. So here's what I have in mind. To me, two teams stand out from the rest, and no, I'm not saying that Giannis will 100% end up there, but in theory, it just makes the most sense. Let's start with the San Antonio Spurs. From the Bucks' perspective, this is a deal that actually works if they decide it's time to rebuild. The Spurs have the second pick in this year's draft, which means that someone like Dylan Harper is in play. They also have another lottery pick and future first rounders to throw in. Add in Stephon Castle, who already looks like a franchise-level two-way point guard if his shooting comes along, and Devin Vassell, a proven NBA scorer, and Milwaukee would be walking away with serious young talent. Harrison Barnes in this scenario is just a vet to balance the money and maybe provide some leadership through the transition. Now, I know Spurs fans probably won't love the idea of giving up either Castle or Vassell, but come on, it's Giannis. If you want to pair him with Wemby, you're not going to keep all your favorite young guys. And the idea of Giannis and Wembanyama on the same team, that's not just exciting, that's potentially historic. Two freaks of nature on both ends of the floor. I honestly think it would make San Antonio a legit title contender. There's no reason to overanalyze it. If you can pair Wemby with Giannis, you just do it, no hesitation. Although the most realistic option for Giannis in my eyes is Houston. I talked about this more during the playoffs, so you can check that video out after this one, but they just check all the boxes. From roster fit to coaching to what they can actually offer the Bucks in a trade. Not only do they have the assets to get it done, but stylistically it just makes sense. Udoka is a tough-minded coach who could maximize Giannis in ways that a lot of other coaches couldn't. And if the reports are true that they are open to including Alperen Şengün in a deal, that changes everything. Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., Cam Whitmore, and a pile of first-rounders. That's a serious offer. Şengün's incredibly skilled, but he's not a great defender and doesn't quite fit Udoka's system the way that Giannis would. So honestly, it could be a win on both sides. Milwaukee gets young talent and picks, while Houston gets the kind of superstar that turns a tough, gritty squad into a legit contender overnight. Just imagine him running with Amen Thompson, Dillon Brooks, and the rest of the defensive-minded, gritty team that doesn't need 5 shooters on the floor to function. Udoka would likely let Giannis lean into his strengths, dominate in transition, collapse the defense, kick it out, and wouldn't ask him to play outside his comfort zone. I really believe that the Rockets are one of the few teams that can really build a contender around Giannis without gutting their identity. Now, Dallas is another team that people have brought up, and I get it. Cooper Flagg is an incredible prospect, and if the Mavs offered him up, that would immediately grab the Bucks' attention. But I just don't see Dallas doing it. Flagg is the kind of talent you build around for the next decade, and considering they already moved Luka, I doubt they would take another massive swing unless they are sure it puts them over the top. Plus, the financial side of it is tricky. Pairing Giannis with Kyrie and Anthony Davis sounds like a fantasy super team, but to make it work cap-wise, you're tearing apart your depth. And with Kyrie and AD's injury history, I don't know if it's a smart bet long term. Then again, it's the Mavericks. They have surprised us before. So while I think it's a long shot, it's not completely out of the question. Interestingly, Giannis has reportedly shown interest in playing in a state without income tax. That gives a bit of an edge to teams in Texas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, since they can offer a little financial incentive on top of basketball fit. But there's another layer to all of this. It's much easier to reach the finals through the East. The West is already stacked, and if he joins guys like Jokic, Luka, Shea, Wemby, LeBron, Steph, and AD, the competition becomes ridiculous. The East has stars, sure, Tatum, Embiid, Brunson, Hallie, Mitchell, but Tatum just tore his Achilles, Embiid could retire at any point, so staying in the East on a competitive team could make actually more sense. And reportedly, he prefers also staying there anyways. Another possible option is Atlanta. They've got young talent like Jalen Johnson, Zachary Ricochet, and Dyson Daniels, plus picks to sweeten the pot. If the Bucks are looking to retool rather than completely rebuild, Johnson could be a foundational piece. He was having a breakout season before his shoulder injury, and his combination of size, skill, and efficiency is rare. Ricochet gives you a high upside wing, and if you're going with Daniels instead of him, then you've got an elite defender. Throw in a couple of first rounders and the deal starts making sense. From the Hawks' perspective, the idea of pairing Trae Young with Giannis is actually fascinating. Trae's always been a playmaker, and with him leading the league in assists, the pick and roll game with Giannis would be lethal. And unlike in Milwaukee where Drew left and nobody could actually cover for Dame's defense, Atlanta would have guys like Daniels or Johnson to help cover those holes. I think the offensive chemistry could be special, even though there are some defensive question marks when it comes to Trae. Then there's the Miami Heat. Pat Riley is always lurking when a superstar becomes available, and there are reports that Giannis has an affinity for Florida. The problem? The Heat don't really have the assets. Bam Adebayo would obviously have to be the centerpiece, but beyond that, it gets thin. Nikola Jovic and Khalil Ware are nice young players, but not game changers. And of course, their draft picks won't be that valuable if they are competing. As much as I love the idea of Giannis in a Heat jersey, it just feels unrealistic. Unless Bam demands out and Miami somehow finds a third team to sweeten the deal. New York City has been floated there too, especially because of the big market angle and Giannis' comment about international stars in New York. But the Knicks are thriving right now, so they're likely out. That leaves the Nets, and while they do have picks and players who are at or reaching their peak like Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson, they don't have that one asset that makes a deal irresistible. Sure, they could overwhelm Milwaukee with quantity, maybe even offer the most first rounders, but the Bucks probably want more than just picks. They want someone to build around, someone they can sell to the fan base. The Nets just don't have that guy right now. And even if the Bucks were on board, I just don't see Giannis being interested in joining a team that doesn't have the supporting cast for his championship aspirations. The Cavaliers are the last team I seriously considered. They were the best team in the East during the regular season, but their playoff burnout was rough. If the front office gets impatient, they could offer up guys like Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen, plus a few picks in exchange for Giannis. It's a decent package on paper, but I think Milwaukee could do much better elsewhere. And unless Cleveland throws in Mobley, which they won't, this deal just doesn't have that wow factor. Other Eastern teams like the Raptors or the Sixers, I just don't see it. The Sixers would have to gut their team and probably still come up short. And the Raptors, well, they just don't have the pieces to make it happen. At the end of the day, I still believe the Rockets and the Spurs are in the best position to make this happen. They've got the right mix of young talent, picks, and fit. But hey, this is the NBA and wild things happen all the time, so what do you predict? Does Giannis stay or leave Milwaukee? And is he surely going to one of those teams that I just looked at, or is there some dark horse team you got in mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, don't forget to check out that video on Giannis going to Houston, and also like this video and subscribe for more NBA takes through an overseas lens.